Yo, what's going on? Morning mindset reset. For exercise, you know what to do. For food, you know what to do. Mindset. So here we go. I'm going to get this off my chest. I am not trying to divide people. I am passionate about inspiring, informing, and pressing some button to get anybody and everybody to go towards the better version of themselves, particularly my mom, my loved ones, my family. But it's hard sometimes. So, you're never a prophet in your hometown, if you know what I mean. So, what conspiracy theory versus critical thinking? So, I found this little phenomena it sort of makes sense to me, but it's so odd that on Facebook alone and my private coaching group, where I coach my friends who have supported my businesses in the past. Some people call them customers. I call them friends who have supported my business in the past. And some of my relatives have too. This phenomena that I get so much friction and flack from my relatives. I'm just going to be blunt. And see, I haven't watched TV for 16, 17, no, 20 years. I have not had a cable bill for 20 years. I have not read a newspaper for 20 years. Tony Anthony Robbins got in my ear in 2000 and said, why do you want to focus on what they're trying to sell? Who's they? They? Who owns the news stations? Mainstream media, Disney, Comcast, big businesses that probably their agenda is not genuine anymore at helping you and I. They're excited about making their shareholders profitable, okay? So what is wrong? Do you think who started wars? The Vietnam War, World War II, 911. Do you think we're being told what the true agenda behind the people who pulled the strings are? So I can understand people that are young, 30 and younger, that are educated by the new educational system that probably is infiltrated by the far left because the public school systems like free things. And I get it. I totally get inner city kids need free stuff. But at what point do you start working with teaching people how to fish? At what point do you stop giving people free things, empowering them to be a strong version of themselves and teach them how to fish? Okay? Is there anything wrong with questioning authority, critical thinking, looking outside the box, and being a little bit like less than just superficial? And I probably come across a little sometimes to my relatives who comment on my stuff a little bit brash and strong, and I don't communicate as clearly as I should. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with looking at things from a different perspective and trying to do things they say don't do. Think about things other than the way we're taught and don't follow the herd. Because I think what's going on right now could possibly, if people put their heads in the sand and they don't speak their mind and they're afraid to lose their jobs, it could be part of the plan of the top 1% of people who own money and power, want to thin the herd. They're getting scared. There's not enough resources on planet Earth. I know that's a little bit far out there, but I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with critical thinking. And I hope I'm getting my thoughts out correctly. And I hope this resonates with some people and makes sense. I just urge people to consider the fact that most people, unless they're psychotic, want the same things. If I haven't put across the idea, the feeling that I love to see people thrive and do amazing things in their life, then I have not done well with my communication skills. And yes, stay open-minded. So here's what I say. The people who are 50, 60, 70, 80, they had to have critical thinking to survive. Okay, but I think that it has got thwarted, is that a word? Thwarted or smushed down by mainstream media and the news and the top 1% of companies. Do you think a pharmaceutical company has your health in mind when they're making decisions? Or do you think they are putting billions of dollars to the side for when they get sued, and the only thing they study is how to sell more drugs? Do they study how drugs interact with other drugs and how it affects somebody's true health? No, they do not. And your body has more of a remarkable ability to self-heal than you realize. But there's a certain point when you start taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 medications, and you're listening to your doctor who's a nice person that's trained by the pharmaceutical industry, there comes to a point where you got to say enough is enough. And you need some help. I get it at a certain point. At least that's my opinion. So I'm going to get off here. Critical thinking versus conspiracy theory type thinking. Stay open-minded. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree and talk out your differences. If, my mom's not going to like this. I ran across this guy here locally. I'm meeting with him today, actually. He's the head athletic trainer at the Bo Jackson Dome here in South Chicagoland. He just created a protein bar that I like. It's got great ingredients. I followed him on social media when we met. I loved his energy. He's a young guy. He wrote a book. The title of his book is Don't Be a Dick, Don't Be a Pussy. It says a lot. It says a lot, in my opinion, if you're talking about true inspiring someone to step up to live a great life. Be considerate, disagree, don't be an ass, and let's discuss this. If you're watching this long, you value my information enough to say, this guy's got something here. So if you disagree with me, let's talk about why you disagree. What angle are you coming from? And I may change my view. I will listen to a considerate person. Is it conspiracy theory mindset, or is it critical thinking? I love you. You have power to change to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Woot woot.